In this e-learning segment, we'll work with datasets using Microsoft Excel. A dataset is a collection of data, and Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application that can be used to organize and analyze datasets. State and federal government agencies, such as the Department of Health and Human Services, including the CDC, collect and maintain aggregated data that are made available to the public. The World Health Organization also has datasets that are available for download. What we'll do in this segment is conduct an online search for a dataset for a sample scenario. In this example, we want to determine the number of reported cases of Lyme disease for one county in California, Santa Cruz County. Then, we'll create a graph that we can include in our presentation material to show the latest available data on Lyme disease cases in this county for a 10-year period. Once we find the dataset we need, we can organize the data based on our required criteria using Excel. Then create a graph that we can use to present the information. State-specific datasets can be accessed through the state's Open Data Portal. To get to a state's Open Data Portal, we can start on the Google search engine, type in the state of interest. For this example, we type in California, followed by keywords Open Data. Then we press Enter. The first item on the list is for the California Open Data website, so let's click that link. There are many datasets available on this California Open Data website, so if we know what we're looking for, we can enter the relevant keywords. Following our sample scenario, we're interested in Lyme disease data, so let's type in Lyme disease, then press Enter. Our search result displays one dataset. The title and the brief description look like they align with what we're looking for. Let's click on the link to see more information about this dataset. We see that for this dataset, under Data and Resources, there are different types of files. What we're interested in from this list is the CSV file. This first item, the file with the gold-colored icon with a tiny CSV marking. CSV stands for a comma-separated value, which means that this type of file contains plain text, no formatting. The data are simply separated by commas, as the name suggests. This type of file can be opened on any operating system and spreadsheet applications. Let's go ahead and download this dataset by clicking the Explore button to the far right of the CSV file name, then select Download. Now let's find and open our downloaded file. In this case, since we're using Chrome as our browser, we can open the file from the download bar in the lower section of the browser. Otherwise, we would need to go to the download folder within our computer or wherever we usually get our downloaded files. Now that we have the downloaded file open, the first thing we need to do is to save the spreadsheet as an Excel workbook. By converting our CSV file to an Excel workbook, we avoid the risk of losing some of the Excel features when we save the spreadsheet. Let's go to the File tab in the upper toolbar, click on File, then click Save As. Then we'll choose a location to save this file. Let's say we want to keep this in the My Documents folder, so let's navigate to that location and select it. We go to the File Name field and change the name to something more appropriate, like Lyme disease Santa Cruz. Then we go to the Save As Type field, click that, and select Excel Workbook. Then click Save. Now we're ready to organize our data. Looking at this file, we might want to magnify the text within the spreadsheet. We can do that by clicking the plus icon on the zoom slider in the lower right section of the spreadsheet. Next, we should probably adjust the width for column A, the disease column, so we can see more text contained within that column. To do this, we place our cursor between column headings A and B until the cursor changes into a vertical line with two small arrows pointing opposite sides. We then click and drag to our desired column width. We can do this for any of the columns as we wish. Next thing we'll do is to turn on the filter function, so we can easily filter out data we don't need and be able to sort data easily as well. First thing we need to do is select the entire worksheet. To do that, let's go to the upper left corner of the spreadsheet, the cell to the left of column heading A, and just above row 1. Once we click that corner cell, the worksheet becomes shaded with light gray color to indicate that the entire worksheet has been selected. Next, we'll click the Data tab in the upper toolbar and click Filter to turn this function on. After clicking Filter, notice how each data title on row 1 has a drop-down icon, which indicates that data in all the columns can be filtered and sorted. Before we move further, let's freeze the top row where the data headers are, so that when we scroll down the spreadsheet, we can still see the data headers. For this, let's click on the View tab in the upper toolbar and look for the Freeze Panes drop-down. Let's click that and select Freeze Top Row. Now we're ready to organize our data for what we need. Click anywhere within the worksheet to remove the gray shading. Notice how when we scroll down, row 1 with the data titles is frozen. As we're focusing on one specific disease, we would want to apply a filter to shorten this list and just view Lyme disease. To do that, we'll click on the drop-down icon next to the data title, disease. In the search field, let's type in a keyword. In this case, we'll use Lyme as our keyword. As we do that, we see that Lyme disease is selected with a check mark. No other diseases are included. We just need to click OK. So we've basically hidden other diseases from view except for Lyme. And notice in the status bar in the left lower area of the spreadsheet that the filter applied narrows down our list to 3,186 out of over 154,000 records. We're particularly interested in the number of cases reported in the Santa Cruz County, so we can further shorten the list by applying another filter. Let's click on the drop-down icon for a county. We'll enter Santa as a keyword, and we see that we're presented with 3 options. We only need Santa Cruz, so we need to make sure that only Santa Cruz is selected, and then check the other 2 options. Then click OK. Now our list is down to 54 records. We're interested in the total number of cases regardless of sex, so we will need to apply another filter for the sex column. In this case, we just need to uncheck the female and male options and leave total checked. Then click OK. Now our list is down to 18 records. If we want to sort this list from the highest number of cases to the lowest, we can click the drop-down icon for the cases column and just select the Sort Largest to Smallest option to apply that sorting. We can sort data in any of the columns here. If we want to rearrange this list by the oldest to the most recent year, for instance, then we just follow the same steps in the year column, but select the Sort Smallest to Largest option. Next, we'd like to see just 10 years worth of data. So in this case, that means from 2008 to 2018. We'll apply another filter. For this, we click on the drop-down filter for the year, hover over Numbers filters, and select the option Between. This pop-up panel displays where we enter 2008 in the first field, then we go to the second field and enter 2018. Then click OK. Our list now contains only 11 records. Looking at these filtered data, we've determined that this is the information that we need. The last thing we'd like to do is create a graph that we can include in our presentation slide. To create a graph that shows the number of cases per year, let's select the values or numbers from the cases column that we'd like to include in the graph. We click on the first cell and drag down to the last value within the cases column. Next, we go to the upper toolbar and click the Insert tab and look for the column icon. Click that and let's select the first option. And there we go. We have our graph. But we're not done yet. We want to change the labels on the horizontal axis to the corresponding years. To do that, we right-click in the middle area of the graph and click Select Data. On the dialog box, let's click on the Edit button in the horizontal category axis label section. We see the axis labels dialog box displayed. The next step is to go to the year column. We'll click and drag the range of values in that column, similar to what we did for the cases values. Once we have the year selected, we go back to the dialog box and click OK. Then we're back to the main dialog box, and we click OK again. Now we have the years as labels on the horizontal axis. The only thing left to do is to edit the title of the graph. Let's hover over Chart Title and right-click. We'll select Edit Text. Then delete the text and type in our title. Let's call this Lyme disease cases, or Lyme disease in Santa Cruz County from 2008 to 2018. From here, we can cut this graph and paste it onto our presentation slide. Let's right-click on the graph, select Cut, then go to our presentation slide and paste it there as a picture. And we're done. To summarize what we've accomplished in this segment, first, we searched for a dataset of interest. Then we downloaded a CSV file for that dataset and saved the CSV file as an Excel workbook. We then used the filter function and other features in Excel to organize our data. And lastly, we created a graph using filtered or relevant data.